Welcome back to Mississippi Insight. Our next guest has led Vicksburg since 2013. But Mayor George Flagg's career goes much further back than that. He spent much of it as a Democrat, but now identifies as an independent. He's unapologetic about his relationship with the leader of the Republican Party, sharing the stage a number of times with President Trump. Let's talk about your relationship with the president. You were in there earlier of the year with the Opportunity Zone conference there, and you met with President Trump. Trying to talk about your relationship with the president.
Well, first of all, I met the president right after the election. He was coming into Jackson for the opening of the Civil Rights Museum, and nobody seemed to want to greet him. And they called me and asked me would I greet the President of the United States to the state of Mississippi, and I said I'd be honored. And we've had a relationship ever since. And that's because I've met 5 presidents. I've been with both Bush, Bill Clinton, and I was with Obama, and now I'm with the president. They come every 4 years, and if you're gonna follow the money, you gotta follow the president.
I know there's been a lot of controversy about whether you should be with the president or not. Do you think that was helpful or hurting your political career or not?
Well, I hadn't noticed any different, other than the fact that I'm an independent, and I'm an independent because of the fact is that most of the political leaders in the state of Mississippi, from the legislature, governor, lieutenant governor, are Republican. Most of the other local officials are Democrat, and I figured that if I could be an independent, I could be able to work with Democrats and Republicans. I think it's going real good. We are moving Vicksburg along. We've been probably the most progressive city in the state now. We're producing jobs. We created more jobs last year than any other municipality or county in the state. So I think it's working well. This is what I believe, Byron, is simple. You gotta, in order to create, you have to have a relationship to prosperity if you want to, and by networking. Democrat and Republican help you get elected, but Democrat and Republican don't help you stay elected. Good government help you stay elected. You got to be able to work with people. I work with black, white, women, men, anybody. That's who I am, and that's who I'll always be. In fact, T.D. Jakes said, the minute you know who you are, you know who you're not.
Talk about the things that you are trying to accomplish, and where do you see Vicksburg, 4, 5, 6 years from now?
Well, first of all, Vicksburg has a $30 million budget. When I first got there, I took $3 million and put in reserve. I budget Vicksburg on 97% of the previous year budget, and the rest of the money comes from federal or state government. Since I've been mayor of Vicksburg in the last 5 years, I've gotten over $40-some million from federal and state government. I just got $10 million from the legislature in the last 2 or 3 years. They said that we weren't going to be able to get money out of the BP. I got money out of the BP. In fact, I got $2 million out of the BP. You got to have a relationship. And just so happened, the Speaker of the House is Republican, the Lieutenant Governor is Republican, and the Governor is Republican. So what do? The Democrats don't have no money. We had it when I was there. Of course, I was a Democrat then, and I was on the Budget Committee. But now you have to do it. I'm a chess player. I don't play Uno, and I don't play checkers. I play chess. I'm going to follow the king.
So the important thing is to get the money to do the things you have to do.
Absolutely. You got to have money to be able to develop and to be able to enhance your economy. I don't raise taxes. If you want somebody to raise taxes, I'm not your guy. I'm a guy that believe in paying as we go and paying within your means. I've raised minimum wage in the city of Vicksburg twice, getting ready to raise it again. Of course, I'm gonna raise my salary with it, but it all comes with the territory. You get what you pay for.
Talk about how you're going about fighting crime in the city of Vicksburg, because crime has been an issue around much of Mississippi. How are you going about fighting crime?
Well, the best way you can fight crime is, one, through prevention. You got to have preventive programs. The other is community policing. We get in the community, get to know everybody, and then makes people comfortable with calling 911 when something happens. We've had our share of crime, but at the same time, is that I'm zero tolerance in crime, and my police chief know it, the police department know it, and at the same time we get out there and we fight it heads on. And now we have begun to educate the public on, if you see something, say something. We're bought into the camera system. We have the body cameras, and we have 2 mobile cameras, and I got two more on their way. If you we got the cameras on in neighborhoods, high crime neighborhoods, we'll watch. It's just one more tools or more tools for police officers to use to monitor crime. So that's what we do. It's a combination thing. I don't think it's just on one thing fit all. You have to stay on top of crime. And if you got one homicide, you got one too many in your community.
You said you do it your way, and one of the things you did was on social media. You kind of cracked down on social media and how you talk to people. Why did you do that, and explain your efforts to crack down on how you're using social media?
If I ever had a learning experience, it's through social media. I've learned that social media is a good way to communicate with your community. It's a good way to communicate with, and a good way to network. So what I try to do is convey policy through networking, through by utilizing the social media and any media necessary, so that people understand that we're serious about what we're doing and stay on top of it. I think you have to have great relationship, and you have to have a direct means of communicating. And social media is one of those ways. I never thought I'd be involved in it, but I'm here, and it's very effective.
All right, Mayor George Flaggs, Vicksburg, doing it your way and being very effective at that. And we'll be right back with more after this. And welcome back to Mississippi Insight. The search is on for the next person to attempt to tackle Jackson's growing juvenile crime rate. WJTV 12's Gerald Harris joins us with the candidates for Hinds County District Attorney, who say they have the answer.
All 3 candidates for Hinds County District Attorney says there is a crime crisis in the capital city, and juveniles are becoming part of that problem. They all say they have a solution to fixing teen crime. Jackson City Council members and police chief have expressed their concerns with children committing crimes in the capital city. And voters will have a chance in August to vote for who they want to prosecute or prevent those crimes from happening. Darla Palmer, a defense attorney, says she will meet them in the classroom.
Do is first go into the school systems to give a lot of information, because you'll be surprised that a lot of the individuals that I have represented in the past are just not aware of what the penalties are, first of all. And so when you know better, you do better.
Civil rights attorney Jody Owen says children must have positive outlets to prevent violent crime.
All Hinds County School District, all city school district, the Jackson Public Schools, which I have a track record of doing, and ensuring that we're keeping kids in school, and alternatively, when they must be removed from school, giving them things to do that are productive. We know that individuals are more likely to find themselves in Mississippi Department of Corrections custody when they drop out of school.
Bentley Alexander, an assistant attorney general, says there are programs in place to help, and he will reach to communities, including churches, to combat the problem.
I mentioned earlier, we have programs that we can use for juveniles, not only in the youth court, but also in circuit court. And while we do that, we also have to, at the same time, keep in mind the victims of those crimes that are perpetrated by juveniles with guns. But we have to change their behavior patterns.
Election day is August 6th, and in order to win, they must gain 50% plus 1 of the vote to avoid a runoff. Reporting in Jackson, Gerald Harris, WJTV 12.
All 3 candidates are running to fill the seat held by Robert Schuler Smith, now a Democratic candidate for governor. We'll be right back after this. Thanks again to Vicksburg Mayor George Flaggs, Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey, Jackson City Councilman Aaron Banks, Gerald Harris, and to you for joining us. Tune in next Saturday night for another edition of Mississippi Insight, including a holiday weekend special story. Walt Grayson looks at a forgotten unit from the Civil War. Remember, news, weather, and sports are available 24/7 at WJTV.com on our news and weather apps. We'll be back next week. Until then, make it a good night.